Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Got a little bit, I think a pretty cool video I wanted to make today. I am still out and staying. A little bit of an update. If you haven't watched the last couple of videos, I have my second home base, or my home base, or my when I die I'll land here. I was able to find a wormhole out to system KP TAC FQ1, which ironically is the same system that I had a home system when I played the 100-day challenge that I did for myself, or it was part of my home system. So I knew the area. And if you watch the prior videos, I kind of went through why I chose to set up my second base here. Later on in the video, I'll show how I'm bouncing between the two, but I thought this might be a good time to go over setting up a system and getting the lay of the land. And I think that's something that I did not do well with the first time I played. I treated Eve more like a pointy and clicky thing versus actually strategizing a lot of different things. Had a lot of fun, but as I've been doing this more and more, I've been learning the intricacies and actually the how it relates, not just pointing at something, knowing where I'm going and how to use that to my advantage. Um, so what I thought I would do is, this is pretty basic, but I thought I would show you how I've set up my save spots in the new system. From my prior history in that 100-day run, if you want to see that, just check out prior videos of mine. There's a lot of them, as you can probably tell. I went out to Stain, and I did a challenge where I had an alpha, went out to Stain almost day 1, 2, or 3, and lived out here for quite some time. And without a cloak, only died a few times, and I would have to say 90% of the times I died, it was due to me either pushing things too hard or being too sleepy. Very rarely did somebody get the drop on me that I hadn't been paying attention to it. Ooh, hey, okay, cool. We got some rats that landed 850 kilometers away, so I'm not too worried about them. So I thought I would bring some of that knowledge over, and I've actually refined it a little bit for this one system. One thing that I did a ton of, which saved me over and over and over again, was making safe spots out in Stain, where I could visually see where things are. And if you hit, I think it's Control S. Whoops. No, 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 no. Stop. That's wrong. Is it just S? Or is it L? Okay, it's L. If you see the bottom, I might not be able to with my stupid picture there. Here's the saved. Oop, I've slowed down. Let's get going. Thank you. Okay. But if you hit the L hotkey, or you can change this yourself, you can open and close the saved locations window. I have learned to always have this up just to be a little bit faster. If I want to get to these through just a regular menu, I can right click and then go to locations and then down to each one of these. But that's 3 steps versus just being able to right click warp, or even right click warp, you know. Actually, I don't think I can do that. Yeah, I can't. I can only do it. And you would be amazed at how fast you are able to do it this way whenever somebody has tried to get the drop on you. I had, back in the day, died a bunch of times where I was trying to do the drop down menu, but I was trying to get away from the guy. My hand was going like this, and the drop down menu would go, versus just coming right here, boom, boom, out. I've saved my life so many times doing that. So again, just the hotkey L, and that will bring up and lower your saved locations. I usually keep it right down here in the same spot all the time, but, well, let's see here. Is it in my view of the camera? It's almost in my ugly face is there. Okay. Can I change that? I haven't changed that in a while. Yeah, I can make my ugly face smaller. There we go. Okay. I'm getting better at this whole video taking thing. No, I'm not. So, how did I make these, and what do they mean? Well, I'm not going to go into the how I made these. You'll probably see me do those in other videos. Control B, if you're flying someplace, hit Control B, and it will bring up the window and you can save that spot. You can right click on something and save the spot. If I want to save this gate, I can save location, and it will save that spot, and I can warp to it. So that's how you make them. I'm not going to get into that. What do these mean down here? It's more important. So just to show you here, this is the map of the system, and this is where I say I got more into, hello, there we go. I got a little bit more into, rather than point and clicking, actually knowing the lay of the land and that sort of thing. So this is where I'm at right now with my directional scanner out. And if you notice here, I've got a couple of save spots. I've got one here. It's a perch, and I'll explain that in here a little bit. Right here is a safe spot. Here's another safe spot. And up here, there should be more safe spots. One that I just made a little while ago. Location perch. So I've got a couple of those perches in different spots. I've also got one down here. What do these mean? Well, the perches I use for looking at something in a local vicinity area right here. Notice how I'm this far out from the gate right now, but I can still see who's there. So let's say if I wanted to see if there was anybody sitting on a gate or anybody sitting on a station, I would create what's called a perch. Now I'm right near the QM gate right now, but I'm off of the perch. What I'll show you here is I'll fly to the R. If I wanted to see if somebody was at the RV5 RW gate, well, if it was within 14.3, I could directionally scan it, but I can't see, but it's not within 14.3, so I need to get closer. But I don't want to take the chance of running into a warp bubble or getting dragged into a warp bubble. So what I've done is I've made some perch spots so I can warp outside of the gate and then see what's there and then warp away. So let's go to RV5. The reason why I thought of making this video was I didn't have these safe spots set up earlier today. It was pretty much my first half day in the system. I was out shooting something and somebody tried to track me down with combat probes to blow me up. And I thought this would be a good video to show. Now I know how to look for combat probes over here. I think I've done a video on this channel before. I know I did a couple on the old ones. But I thought I haven't made any save spots. I need to. So I just warped to my perch for RV5. If you notice here, RV5 is 335 kilometers away. Now that does two things for me. Number one, it's far enough away that most likely I will not be pulled into a drag bubble and get killed. I can see what's where the gate is. Let's see here. Look at, there it is. And I'm out here. Okay. But I can see there's nobody around. The third part is that I'm over 150 kilometers outside of it. So if I want to warp to this, I can. Now watch me get killed because somebody comes into the system right away. You want to put your perches over 150 kilometers outside of something, obviously so that you can warp to and from it as much as you want to. So I'm going to warp back here. I'm keeping an eye on local. Now, in my opinion, you don't have to do this as much out in low sec, where I'm currently spending most of my time, because they can't drop bubbles. This will save you over and over against bubbles. That is the main defense or main way that people kill other people, in my opinion, out here in Eve. Now, the other part, too, is you might be saying, well, should I save these save spots? Should I remake them all the time? The perches and things like that, I don't use that often. So until I actually use them, I'll keep them up in the same spot. After I use them once or twice, I'll actually move them just a little bit. So if somebody's getting used to my spots, they'll remember that. Sorry. And number two, I fly the cheapest ships in the fleet. So the fleet, yeah, fantastic. So I don't really worry about it too much. But if you've got expensive ships, change up your save spots. So these are perches. So if you look here, I'll just warp to my perch off of QM where I was at earlier. And all I did was I flew to make it, I flew to the gate and then warped away from the gate, or did a micro warp drive away from the gate for about roughly 200 kilometers, 250, 300. Just let it roll for a little while and dropped a random bubble that was far enough away from it. But again, I'm going to fly over to this one. You can also do this for other celestials, or any specific spot that you want to keep an eye on. Notice here I'm 350 outside of the QM gate, so I can see what's going on at it. There's some rats there, but they're so far away they can't kill me. So what are these other spots? Well, the first one is just a random safe spot that I made. Let's go ahead and pull up the, whoop. Should be this one right out here. You'll see me move from all the way over here, all the way over here. Now, why did I make this one? Well, the biggest reason I put it here was so that I could do two things. One, if you notice here, my bubble just went over this planet and these asteroid belts. So I can see if anybody's there. See how they're 10.12 to 10.13. That's less than 14.3 away, so I can see if anybody's there. But the more important part is that it's a safe spot. Somebody would have to scan me down with combat probes. Number two, the two gates that I'm looking for, if you notice, are 42 kilometers away. I'm sorry, 42 AU away and 71 AU away. So in general, I'll show you what I can figure out just by the data that's in front of me. Let's say somebody comes into local right here. I notice right here that there are no wormholes, so I know that that person is not coming through a wormhole. Number two, in my local over here, there are a couple of customs offices, but no actual stations, player-owned stations, within the range that I'm at right here. So there's a very good chance that they're not coming in at their own station. Third spot is that I am far enough away that they can't see me whenever they come in. So they come in through either one of these. So most likely they're either coming in through these stations here, these NPC stations. They could be logging in, or they could be coming through either one of these two gates. So this save spot, if nobody comes up on my directional scanning within the first 60 seconds, because, you know, it could decloak and stuff like that, I know that they probably came through these, and they did not, more importantly, they did not see my ship sitting out here. Now, this is one that I would want to change around a little bit back and forth just to get a little bit different all the time. This is my main save spot. The next one I wanted to so that is my main one there. My other safe spots that I have here, if you notice, I've got safe stations and safe sun. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to warp to the sun. Because what you will see a lot of times is, and this comes from whenever I used to be when I first started playing years and years and years ago, I flew around the tackle ships, the cheap ones, and the scouts would actually fly to the sun and then do a directional scan to see if they could find anybody that they wanted to kill. So what I did was I made a safe spot that's near the sun, and from here, scan, I can see if anybody is in the area. If I do a warp to here, it should update that. Yep, see how I've got the sun here, I've got two customs offices, and a couple of planets, but nothing here. And you can see all of these other ones that are here. So really, this is just the center of the map spot to help me, if I need to, get my bearings. The last one, there's two more that I have here. So the second to the last one is my safe stations. I'll warp into it. notice it's over 14.3 AU away from the sun. So I'm not going to be able to see the sun by this spot, but somebody else is not going to be able to see me, which is important. So notice as I've warped to this third safe spot, I've got a safe 1, my safe sun, and my safe stations. The safe stations is the one I'm at. I can now look at each one of the stations that are here. And if I want to, I should be able to lower my angle. If I want to see if anybody's at each station, and I will change my angle and directional scan it. So there's 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. Now the 5% degree is picking up these 2 of them and leaving 1, but it's giving me a good idea as to whether or not anybody's dropped any warp bubbles on the stations. I've had that happen to me probably 8 years ago. Thought I was getting away, getting docked up, and somebody dropped a warp bubble and blew the frickin' snots out of me. So I wasn't as good as avoiding death back in the day when I used to play. And I didn't know this. If I would have been able to warp to this spot, I would have been able to then do a quick, and I can even do just a big D scan to start off. And just to give you an idea, what I could do is I could do a big D scan, beep, and if it came up that there was a mobile, a bubble in here, what I could then do is go right back down to my 5 degrees and aim my directional scanning at each station and try to figure out where that bubble is, and I could go dock up at another one. Or get my buddies together, and I don't have any buddies, but get my buddies together and go beat them up. So just in general, this gets me close to the stations. Last but not least, we'll go ahead and dock up here. And I have not tried this out yet. I tried making a good undock spot out of the station. If you notice here, my home station is now in KP Tech FQ1. Doesn't mean this is where I'm going to spend most of my time. I spent time in Stain. This is going to be my fun spot to blow things up with. I'm going to spend most of my time out in low-sec space, at least for the time being. But I wanted to show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to dock up. Then I'll undock and do the quick undock to my safe spot there. And then there is another one that I could do that is a quick dock one. I haven't done that yet. Forgot about it before I did the video. I don't script these things. I might put little reminders, but so let's just see here. So I'm going to go ahead and undock here. And what this is, and I did a video a couple weeks ago about this. I'm trying to make one where whenever you leave the station, you are invulnerable for a couple of seconds. While you're invulnerable, you're going in one direction. If you set up a save spot anywhere from 150 kilometers to 1,000,000 kilometers straight out from the station, you should almost insta-warp out of there. So if somebody's sitting outside trying to kill you, you should be able to get away and jump to a safe spot that's out there. So we're going to try this here and see how close it was. All I did before was undock, hit my micro warp drive, and let it roll for a while, and then made a safe spot. So let's say I undock here. I see somebody wants to kill me. I close this, I go undock and warp. Notice the established warp vector was very short there, and that's with bad skills that I have here. It was literally, I was aligned. I had like a little smidgen left to go, which I'm not even sure somebody could have caught me there. And now I'm instantaneously over 400 kilometers off the station. And if I want to, I can go back and dock. So now, would I do this with every system that I'm in? No, this is the home system that I'm in. If I had regular areas that I was going to, I would probably set up some perches, maybe a random safe. If you do watch the 100 Days of Alpha that I made a while back, I was doing that constantly. And what ends up happening is you get so used to doing it, you don't even think about it. And what was kind of cool was areas that I hadn't been to in 2 or 3 weeks, I would fly back to, and I'd have save spots already made, so I didn't have to do it anymore. So that was pretty cool. Other things that you can do are save spots for your corporation. That's for whenever I do corp videos, which I have a new corporation. Talked about in the last video. If you want to check it out, it's called Three Bones. And um, it's rolling. I got my first applicant and joinee, one of the guys who's been doing comments. I'll talk more about this in the future. I'm sorry. I did not make this corporation to uh, become the mass leader of a massive alliance. I made it to save some tax money. I put my taxes at 0.1%, and to try things out within it to um, maybe make some videos from it. How do you set up bulletin boards? Are they useful? Questionnaires. Creating one thing I definitely want to do is create a Discord channel down the road. I might even do a basics video of that, because I know that for me, it's tough for me uh, to make things by. I like trying things that are new, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to look for. And one of the reasons why I make these videos is I just talk. And if somebody's listening to it and they see something that they didn't know, or they knew but there was another angle at it, boom, they've got it. Versus a lot of times you don't know if you don't know the question to ask, you'll never get the answer. So if you just overhear me talking about it, maybe that'll happen. So maybe I'll work on some setting up corporation stuff. There's permissions stuff. It is so frustrating. 8 years ago when I played, it was really. I'm interested to see if they fixed a lot of the boring stuff that's in there. But most of my stuff is still going to be ships and blowing stuff up. But yeah. So the last thing I wanted to do was show you. Now this is my home system. What I'm going to go ahead and do here is undock. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to exit the ship. Oof. Click on the ship and then leave the ship. There we go. We're in our pod. We're doing okay. Okay. So, at this point, what I want to do is jump to the station. I've done really well here so far. I've accumulated a lot of stuff. I've actually made 2 probe ships, but as you saw earlier, there was nothing for me to scan down. Boring. I want to go scan some stuff. So what happens now? I don't have anything to scan. Well, since I only use wormholes and not any gates, I'm going to jump to my jump clone over in lowsec, and hopefully there's something there for me. So let's see here. We've got, going to help pull this up here. And as an alpha, you get 1 jump clone. So open this up. Hello, Miss Amanda. And then we're going to go to jump clones. And the jump clone here is over in Hassateam. So I'm going to go ahead and jump there. Now, got to be careful. Do you have any implants? Things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump there. If I wanted to, I could destroy it from far away, but I don't want to do that because I'll never be able to get back. It'll also tell you what implants you have. So go ahead and jump there. Do you authorize payment? I'm going to lose 900k ISK. I've made plenty of that over the last day or so. So we go ahead and say yes. Pew! And now I am in Hassateam. Now, notice how I have a clone. This is very, very important. Notice I left the clone at my home station. I don't want that clone. I want to create another clone here. Why? Because I can self-destruct myself at any point in time to go back to that first location. I did a video maybe a month ago where I figured out a trick when I was stuck with William Pilgrim, and I learned a lot from that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to actually destroy this clone. It doesn't have any implants. Back over in KP TAC FQ1. So we're going to go ahead and destroy that. Yes. And this is where it was very important that there was a clone station here. I'm currently docked in Hassateam. I want to install a clone for 900k. So jumping here and making a new clone It's going to cost me 1.8 million ISK each time I do it. It's a little bit of a sum, but really it's not that terrible. There we go. And now, if I die, I'll land over at KP, and if I want to get back to this station within the next 24 hours, or after 24 hours now, because I can only do it every 23 hours, I now have my clone here. This is really important when you do scan over, because as you've seen before, I don't use jump gates for this challenge. I'm only using wormholes. So if I lose access to this system, um, I'm not going to be able to get back unless I break my own rules, and I haven't yet. I was tempted, so tempted, but I haven't broken my own rules yet. So I think it was about 10 or 15 days ago, I needed some blueprints, and I went into a low-sec system. I didn't have any ships that blew things up, blueprints. I really wanted some. I actually scanned into a low-sec system. I did a search in the market, and there were no um, BPCs or BPOs available in that system. Next door was a treasure trove of blueprints that I could have gotten, but I didn't do it. Um, I didn't. I went back through my wormhole with my tail between my legs and got done with it. So I hope this is helpful for you. Um, just save spots and clones, and I am having a lot of fun right now. Thank you so much to all the comments. Um, you're never going to hear me say, please like and subscribe. I'm doing these videos for fun. I'm doing it to promote Eve because I like Eve. I've been playing it now since the pandemic hit, and I'm really like having fun with this and growing this character. I am going to stay with Amanda Rose. I've gotten a kinship with her, and I'm going to grow her as much as I possibly can till she is Queen of the Universe. No, to go to Omega. I'll keep talking about that. But hope you guys are having a great week so far. I have one more day of it, weekend, and then I go back to work. But other than that, I talked enough right now. We're at 27 minutes. Hey, I didn't do a whole 30 this time. Nice. Got a couple of people in system here. I think I might go get some ice cream, get some coffee, and then go blow some stuff up. Other than that, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however that you want, and you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.